Hey, Henry McClure live. Today's the Topeka Factor. Look, we got Marshall Barber in the studio. Hey, we wanted. He's trying to get live on his stream. But hey, first off, Angus and Jalen Tucker, happy anniversary. I love you two guys. You're hard workers. Hey, I also want to talk to Jalen about about MTAA, and I want to talk about getting MTAA down to the 37th Engage project. She used to be the head of that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know why she stopped being the head of it. But anyway, happy anniversary. I thought Tucker presented himself well, to run for treasurer.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like him.
That was a good interview.
Anyway, so here I'm going to, sometimes I've been saying, my voice carries, but some of my viewers have said that I need to get closer to the microphone.
Oh, is that what they say?
Yes.
Okay.
I listen to my viewers. As a matter of fact, Mike Fox wants some information on a deal, and I'll be getting that out to him. And then I want to talk to you today about Circle Coffee at 10th and Topeka.
Okay, let me just say this is Facebook Live. And as it's Wednesday morning, once again, it's time for a special pre-Thanksgiving edition of the Topeka Factor with myself. You know who I am.
Yeah, I know who you are.
This guy over here, Henry McClure.
Did you know that I ran for city council, county commissioner?
You ran for the city council?
Did you know? No. Did you know that I ran for county commissioner? I didn't know if you knew that.
A former county commission candidate who is now testing the waters for a 2006 mayoral run.
Yeah. And you know what I'm going to do? And I'm never going to ever give up my real estate license.
The first thing you ought to do is call Mike Davies and ask him for his support.
Who's Mike Davies?
He's one of my Facebook friends.
Hey, Mike, where do you live?
As well as a 1968
Does he live in Shawnee County?
Graduate. He does.
Hey, go Chargers.
Okay.
My daughter, Bianca, is a Charger.
Yeah?
Yeah, once a Charger, always a Charger. Here, we're going to film you. Yeah.
My daughter had the best of both worlds. She was 2 years at West and 2 years at Topeka High, where she graduated.
Well, she had the best of both worlds.
She did.
She had a mom over here and a dad over there.
I'm kind of a short bus graduate myself. But we won't get
What's a short bus?
So, let's see.
What does that mean?
Oh, that's a snarky joke.
Oh.
Let's move on from that.
All right, here. Good morning. So what are you thankful for?
Well, there's Patty.
Name one thing.
Up in Montana.
Oh, I like her.
And
the big sky.
So one thing I'm thankful for would be the moderate Kansas climate.
Yeah, it's like free weather.
This is an area I think that will draw people in the future because we don't have a lot of the things that are making parts of Florida virtually uninhabitable.
You know what we have to do? We just have to lower real estate taxes. And I want to get through the legislature like they have in California, Prop 13. When you buy your house, that's the value of your house till you sell it. Mm-hmm. None of this kabuki value, none of this. We don't even need a county appraiser. He can retire. So we'll find something for him to do. But because once you create a government program, it never goes away. But that's what Ronald Reagan said. You voted for Ronald Reagan, didn't you?
So now, I don't really disclose who I voted for.
Oh, okay.
But there were certain aspects of Ronald Reagan in 1980 which were extremely attractive.
Did I cross the line asking you who you voted for?
Well, it's okay. You can ask me a lot of things, and then it's my choice as to whether to answer or not.
Okay.
But let's see. To think about that question a little bit, when we have the taxpayers being asked to foot the bill for rather conspicuous projects.
You mean stupid stuff like buying a hotel?
Conspicuous projects of dubious, shall we say, merit, then it becomes a question of, okay, why are my property taxes going up every year when the money's being spent on things that I'm not being asked about?
Okay, so besides that, so you take that thought right
Is
there.
there any due process involved?
So you take that thought right there. Well, yeah, ask Earl McIntosh about that. But so immediately, then you rein in spending because there's less money to spend. So you have all this hocus pocus of, and to Mike Halgan, sometimes you got to continue to watch the show to get in on all the riddles. He
It's
says
the Topeka Factor on Facebook Live.
yes with Marshall Barber today, and Mike Halgan said I speak in riddles, and I was in
Who speaks in riddles?
that I do.
You?
Yeah,
Okay.
because sometimes I just don't come out and say,
Well, I think
who.
that's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
That isn't even funny. You want to take another shot at that? Something funny?
Patty says employees out here can't afford to live in Flathead County. Many drive over an hour to get to work. And she's been telling her vendor friends to look at Topeka.
How did it get the name Flathead?
That could be, I don't know, but that could be our new
We
slogan.
Hey, Patty, tell us how it got the name Flathead.
That could be, yeah. How did that come about? But that could be our new slogan. Move to Topeka while you can still afford it.
I mean, there's so many ways you could go with that, but devious Henry, I don't want to speak in riddles.
Ridiculously.
So,
speaking.
but seriously, this guy when I was out on the campaign trail knocking on doors, this guy tells me he painted his house. It was appraised at 60. He goes, it wasn't even worth 60. He goes, I'm still renovating the inside. I had to gut this thing. He took it down, when you take out all the lath and plaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of work.
That's a job. I've done
It's
that.
a job. And yeah, Tyler Weibel did a job like that over on Fillmore. And actually, that's how I met Tyler, but I digress. So you base it on, and maybe you give it a 1% increase, every year. The value of your house is going to go up 1%.
Who was the NBA guy? Oh, it was Patrick Ewing who said, well, we might make a lot of money, but we spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
So the corollary of the Ewing theorem, which justified astronomically high NBA salaries, the corollary for government work would be we don't make a lot of money, so we're not going to spend a lot of money.
Well, government sector, and that's what a lot of elected officials don't understand. They've never run a business and they're not accountable. They've had government jobs.
Well, here's a good example of that.
Tell me one.
And believe me, if anybody wants to see a remodeled, beautiful Jayhawk Theater more than me, I mean, I almost would rather see that place be successful than I would, want to have my own house renovated. I'd rather have the Jayhawk Theater make it than I would, say, have a paid-for house in Westboro. That's how much I like the Jayhawk Theater. Been going in and out.
Well, you drank the Jayhawk Kool-Aid, but I just don't think Jeff's the right guy to be doing the project.
Well, who?
I mean, Jeff, the guy that owns the Gizmo Film Company.
Oh, well, actually,
What he did with the Thatcher building is a waste
leave him out of
and
it.
a crime. Why?
Let's take a Flathead.
He's the head
County,
of it.
Let's take a little Flathead County detour. Patty did some research, and she's already giving us the facts about Flathead County.
I want to hear it.
Founded in 1893, some sources cite the supposed practice of the Salish tribe flattening infants' heads as the origin of the name Flathead. But there is no record of Salish Indians ever having that appearance.
So
this is kind of an apocryphal tale. Patty goes on to say...
Oh, wait a minute. Apocryphal.
Patty goes on to say that her mother was an usher at the Jayhawk Theater. But now...
Hey, Ziggy, what does apocryphal mean?
Apocryphal. You're going to get some...
Doubt in
doubtful authenticity.
Yes.
Okay, apocryphal. Well, the thing about the Jayhawk
So
Theater,
you're saying that it's,
Here-
it's
look at
doubtful
this.
that they really flatten the kids' heads.
it's dubious, yeah.
I don't want to talk about the Jayhawk. It's not going to make me any money. It's only
Well-
going to cost everybody money.
No, but this is an example of what we're talking about.
Okay, let me see.
And I wanted to preface this by saying that nobody would like to see a sparkling remodeled Jayhawk Theater more than I.
Yeah, but why can't
but
the
here's the
private
thing.
sector do it?
Well, that's what I was leading up to.
Okay, I cut him off.
There, when you're asking people to
Pony up.
pay property taxes, you're asking them to fund a lot of things. You got the police, you got the fire, you got the city services,
Streets,
streets, all that.
water.
So some people might be asking, well, how does the city and county come up with $5 million for one theater which seats 1,200 people? I mean,
Okay, so let me ask
and
you a
to
question.
and to what extent does this service already get provided by TPAC? And how was the TPAC deal done? Was that done with private money?
I
public
don't
money?
know, but the money that the city.
In other words, what's the return on the investment of $5 million, and how do you go to people? Your example of the guy whose value was raised from 60,000 to what? How much?
120.
Okay, how do you go to that guy and say, well, we need $5 million to renovate a theater?
He's got 4 kids, and then he goes, that kid's kind of the adopted kid because he's all over here all the time. We feed him about 3 or 4 meals a day, it seems like.
I mean, what could you build for $5 million?
But think about that. You could buy the Sears building for $5 million.
Really?
Yeah, probably.
You mean the one out
Yeah.
at West Ridge?
Yeah, so when you start looking at the money that the city spent on keeping City Hall where it is, it's stupid. You could have gone out and bought Sears. Back then, you probably could have bought the mall.
Yeah, right.
No, seriously.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not kidding you.
I think one of our viewers.
Well, we hang on. I hang on to stuff too long. I have trouble letting stuff go. But I did learn one thing from Mace Siegel and Dana K. Anderson: never fall in love with real estate.
Perhaps you could just shorten that and say never fall in love.
No, I've had a pretty good time falling.
I think one of our viewers, Steve, might have had some experience in the entertainment business. If it's the Steve I'm thinking of, also want to say hi to Julie and Ray and Joe, dialing in from all around the country here. But,
Well, tell Patty thank you for the research.
so yeah,
But think about it: when a baby comes out of the vagina, its head's all loose, and you could literally,
in theory, you could.
yeah, you could put a little helmet on them
Yeah.
and flatten their head,
Put
Like
it in a vice.
a flat helmet.
Put it in a vice. Like what was that movie where Joe Pesci put somebody's head in a vice?
Oh, Casino.
Casino.
No.
Was it Casino?
Oh man.
By the way, that's something else.
Yeah, that is Casino.
That's something else. Because he was
Yeah,
playing.
he's the guy that shot up the bar.
He was playing the character of Anthony the Ant Spilotro, who in real life actually did put somebody's head in a vice.
Yeah,
In real life.
I mean it would work.
That
You haven't
gives-
paid the rent yet.
That's something I've been meaning to talk about, which is maybe the Topeka factor as we head into the dark gloom of winter when people are spending more time indoors. Maybe we should every week talk about a particular movie that we recommend for indoor viewing.
Well, I'm actually.
Now that we've mentioned
I've been
Casino.
putting the, and I'm one of these guys. Like all of a sudden, hey, I think I need to watch Casino. Put it on.
Watch what?
Casino.
Oh, Casino. Yeah, or Goodfellas.
Well, because it's real.
Yeah.
It was the truth.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Ace Rothstein was a real person.
His real name was Lefty Rosenthal.
Yeah, Lefty.
And you have to wonder what Lefty would make. How many millions of dollars would Lefty be making in today's environment, which has gone from gambling being illegal to gambling being a state-sponsored activity in 30 states?
Well, it wasn't illegal in Vegas or in Nevada.
Right. But yeah, Lefty was kind of hooked up with the people in Chicago. Certain people could could get you fixed up with a friendly
Yeah,
wager
yeah. Get a loan from
on
the Teamsters.
on the Bears.
Get a Teamsters loan.
Yeah.
Hey, so
Facebook Live. Once again, sports fans, it's time for the Topeka Factor.
let's talk about
We're
Circle
talking-
Coffee. And okay, go ahead.
We're talking with local developer
See, we got two shows going.
and 2006 mayoral candidate Henry McClure, who has not formally announced yet, but he has these lovely ball caps.
Aren't these lovely?
Let me
I'm going to sell these to raise funds.
get this turned around here so people can see it on me. There we go.
Henry McClure Live.
That's the new look, going from county commission to city commission. Did you go to the meeting? Just not to put you on the spot.
No, I didn't go last night. I couldn't find it. I went to TPAC and it wasn't there.
Where was it?
I don't know. Hey,
Weird.
Banks, if you're watching, call in. Tell us where it was. Oh, we are accepting calls on the studio line.
Dr. Dunk, give us a
At
call.
785-235-3353.
Our old friend Johnny Humpage is
Big John.
with me here on.
His dad was a neat lawyer.
Facebook
Speaking
his
of
dad was one of the best.
yeah, and speaking of casino, the mayor in that movie, the mayor of Vegas played the lawyer.
Oscar Goodman.
Yeah, Oscar, and so, but he.
Oscar Goodman was actually the John Humpage of Kansas City at one time. He was
Well, you
a
said it,
very
not me.
successful trial lawyer.
I mean, I can't.
With many eminent acquaintances.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've always liked John.
And then his wife, Oscar's wife, became the next mayor of Vegas.
She did.
As far as I know, she's still. I don't know who the.
She had the inside track.
Boy, there's a city that knows no bounds.
I didn't. I never really. I loved Reno when I commuted back and forth to Reno.
Yeah.
Reno's the biggest little city in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and it was beautiful because the Peppermill Hotel Casino was right across from Park Lane Mall. Do you ever see in the toilet that Park Lane Mall sign? That was signed by Captain and Tennille.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, Tony Tennille used to shop at Park Lane all the time.
Daryl Dragon. Oh yeah, now Patty has a memory here
About flatheads?
No, about John and waiting on his daddy at the Pancake House in the '70s, which is kind of interesting
To who?
to me.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's one of our viewers.
Okay. I'm sorry. I
Also want to say
I
hi
thought
to
that was a
Lee.
little funny.
Huh?
I thought it was a little funny.
So we've got a few things up on the whiteboard
Yeah, you
to
can't
talk
see
about
it.
this morning
Here,
regarding-
I'll let X see it.
regarding potential Topeka developments.
Here, I had to just.
Where do you want to start?
I had to let X. Well, let's talk
And
about
real
Circle
estate.
Coffee
Circle Coffee.
and this
Now,
is
they're
just
over there on
this is
17th.
just Henry McClure talking.
Okay.
I'm not. There's no deal. I have spoke to one of the guys involved with it. But have you been to Circle Coffee?
I've been there.
It's
yes.
the cool place to go for coffee.
And croissants.
A croissant.
I had a really good croissant over there because my insurance agent sent me a thing for my birthday for a free pastry or coffee.
I actually signed up everything with Ryan Mowinkle right here.
That's an interesting place that you mentioned because that's a really good example. It used to be a real crummy laundromat, that building.
Oh yeah.
It was a horrible laundromat. Half the stuff in there didn't work. But they took the building and repurposed it into a coffee house. And,
It's awesome.
and people go there. A lot of people go
Man,
there.
I love that garage door
so
they
now
got on the side.
Johnny says hi to Patty as our media outlet becomes transformed into a vehicle for transmitting
Patty,
personal messages.
You
This is
showed up
great.
with the syrup very late.
Still waiting on my syrup.
I'm still
Patty.
waiting on the syrup, Patty. It's a sticky situation.
All right. So
I got to get some water. You keep talking.
I have a building that I'm trying to lease
I
at
love
10th
that
and
building.
Topeka. And we had some people in there yesterday who have a use. Oh, and now John says hi back to Patty. So once again, the Topeka Factor is being transformed into a vehicle for transmitting personal messages. And hey, I'm good with that. Anybody else have a message you want to give to anyone? Just put it out here and we'll get it taken care of for you. Anybody want to say hi to Bernie Van Stone, for example?
Ooh. Yeah, give me that $100 you owe me,
Shut
Bernie.
up. Yeah. You can.
Hey, Bernie, you owe me 100.
Okay.
He never even donated to my campaign. Plus,
Where's the money, Lebowski?
he brings in Robert Sonora, and he brings in the guy running against Kevin Cook, and he didn't even tell me he was a candidate.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with friends
Okay.
like Bernie, who needs enemies?
Where's the money, Lebowski? So you're thinking that maybe this 5,500 square foot space we have downtown
would be perfect for Circle
would
Coffee.
be perfect for Circle Coffee.
And we ought to reach out.
Why do you think that?
Because
I'm just curious.
Because it's perfect. It's perfect. Look at all the traffic that they get walking with all those buildings. You know, especially the building that got built faster than it took to get a Pizza Hut permit. You know, that's a beautiful.
Yeah,
one.
let's
That's
be a
another
more,
riddle.
Let's be a little more specific about that.
What's the name of that?
The irony of this situation at 10th and Topeka.
More riddles.
Drive by 10th and Topeka, look at the new docking building in progress, and ponder for just a moment why, in the same time it took.
You want one?
Thank you.
We're having some NeuroGum.
This NeuroGum is good stuff.
They're not a sponsor yet.
This is not a paid commercial.
We need to get.
Hey,
We
let's
need
go ahead
money.
and show them the bag here. Show them the bag. Good stuff. NeuroGum. You can order it online.
If you want to try a piece, you can
in
stop by.
In talking about the obstructionist, well, I should say, in talking about the occasional obstructionist approach of certain people in city government to get a simple building permit for a Pizza Hut branch on Southeast 29th Street took longer than it's taken the state of Kansas and their contractors to tear down and rebuild the docking building.
You know, I think those buildings were built illegally.
Which buildings?
You want a water?
No, I've got coffee.
Okay.
Okay.
Those two buildings. Does anybody ever heard about the Capitol Plaza Authority?
Was that disbanded?
I never heard about it.
See, I wondered about that in conjunction with the approval of the changes in the building at 9th and Topeka that the downtown Pizza Hut went into. And that seems to me,
What?
well,
Oh, at 9th and Topeka.
yeah, that
The Garden Bank.
see,
it was-
there was a time when a cleaning company, I think it was, give me a couple of names, Scotch in Topeka,
Yeah, Scotch Cleaners.
they wanted to put a drive-through in about the 700 block of Topeka, and that Capitol Plaza Planning Authority that you mentioned at that time
Nixed it.
nixed it, and that would have been late 80s, early 90s.
Now, how's that going to hurt anything?
Well, now it occurred to me. I was just wondering. I wasn't trying to make trouble, but
No, but I'll bet $1 it's not been disbanded. They just don't pay attention to it.
well, it seems to me as I
And
asked
somebody's probably getting paid.
when the people who were at 10th and Topeka wanted to take the bank building at 9th and Topeka and turn it into a Pizza Hut drive-through, I found myself asking the question, well, will the Capital Area Planning Authority get involved with this? And it seems to me that I made a couple of calls and was told they no longer exist.
All right. Well, I'm going to dig into it. It's not that I don't believe you, but I want it in writing.
And had they existed, I'm sure they would have been consulted on the plans for the docking and the new KDHE building, which, as you speculated, were those buildings built illegally.
Well, it's there's a process. Hey,
Which, by the way,
are you hearing some of this? The Doge department, you know, the Department of Governmental.
oh, that's called the
What's the
Department
E?
of Governmental Efficiency.
Efficiency. So I just bought the website SNCODOGE. So we'll do that for ShawneeCounty.com. That will be that'll be the place where we can host the growth of the Citizens Committee that the county was supposed to start 5 years ago. And you know that when Robert Williams was, you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Sorry. I was just distracted.
Go ahead.
You can always put gum underneath the table here. It's okay. So Robert Williams was talking at the county commission, and they've now taken down his comments. You can't get to the comments from the public hearing.
His comments were recorded.
Yeah, so but the whole public meeting was taken down.
The whole public meeting was taken down.
Yeah, and I'm making a core request for the film and the transcript.
Now, why did they take it down, do you think?
Because he brought something to light, and somebody's covering it up.
What did he bring to light?
He brought to light the Citizens Committee that by statute we're supposed to have in place.
So rather than leaving it up and give people something to think about, they just trashed the whole thing.
Or it was a technical error.
Mm.
But I believe in what you said.
Okay. Okay.
All right. What else?
Turns out this is gum, so I got to take it out. Hang on here. Put it on pizza.
That's all right.
All right. There we go. I didn't know this was gum.
Oh, because you get neuro mints?
Yeah, I get neuro mints.
Oh.
The gum is excellent if you can chew gum, which I can't, because I got dentures. See?
Oh.
Mm.
Sorry.
Let's
Wait.
turn on.
I didn't want to have a denture error in the middle of our show.
We'll turn on the denture cam here. There it is.
Well, you know,
That's one thing I'm thankful for.
We're
by
all
the way.
human.
That's what
That you
when
can
it
afford
comes to
dentures.
when it comes to a gratitude list, I'm somebody that suffered with periodontal gum disease, and there were times when I probably could have done a better job of taking care of it, but it's one of those things that either you have it or you don't.
I'll admit that I do too.
And
I've got I got 20. I have 25 of my own teeth.
Yeah.
But I have a bridge here for a couple.
Yeah.
But what happened is I got, I just got lazy when I was a drunk in the end, And so what I go down and get that deep cleaning from.
There you go. That's a good thing.
Yeah, I do that instead of going to the cleaning.
That helps a lot.
It does.
So anyway, that's why I don't chew gum.
I'm honest about,
Okay, back to the big board.
Back
Circle
to-
Coffee.
Don't you like that idea?
Because, well, for one thing, you're going to have 350 new people at the KDHE building. And I don't know how many new people actually in the docking building. So you're going to
And then you got the legislature.
You got the legislature.
You got all the students from Topeka High.
Right. Oh, yeah, they'd love that place.
Yeah. What a great idea.
Would
Man,
be
you did a good job on that.
and the, well.
See, it's his idea now.
I'll take credit for it.
Please.
Sure. But, if you had something like Circle Coffee in there with a coffee bar and food, you could also have maybe a couple thousand square feet.
No, I think they take the whole damn thing.
They take the whole damn
Yeah,
thing.
they think
Okay.
they take the whole thing. And you've got like one room back there, don't you, for like
I was thinking a bank could go in part of
No, man, fuck banks. You don't want to have banks. You're going to see banks shrink and shrink. You will. You're going to see less banks. Except
Okay.
David Banks. He said he'd come be on the show.
Yeah,
As long as I didn't call Kevin
Well-
Cook a bobblehead.
right.
I can't call him a bobblehead.
So you foresee some contraction in the banking sector.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, think about how much electronic banking you do.
Well, in my case, zero.
Oh,
Well, actually, that's not totally true. I do get online and check my balance.
do you have a Social Security?
A what?
Do you get Social Security?
Well, that's private information there, big dog.
Oh, I get Social
I'm
Security.
74, so there's a pretty good chance that I
Okay.
do.
Well, I get
I
Social
can't
Security,
confirm or deny it.
and it goes electronically right into my bank.
Okay, yeah, so does mine.
Okay.
If I had it, it would, yes.
What is the deal? What did I say? Well, anyway.
I'm going offshore. with my Social Security, I'm going offshore.
Yeah, in Lake Perry.
Yeah.
He'll be like, it's like the USS Minnow.
Moving it all to Harveyville. Well,
What's our
actually,
favorite banker down there? Bank of Harveyville.
Rick Moeller.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's a
we ought to get him on the show.
Well, we should. He's also a big KU Jayhawk fan. So I'm sure Rick was probably going into convulsions last night when the referees ejected the big guy. Hunter.
I called Dana Kay during the game.
Did you really?
Yeah, and they're a bigger Jayhawk fan than I know. Johnny Brown and I actually had breakfast, lunch, whatever, with Dana Kay. It was fun seeing those two. You know, they knew everybody together.
Right.
I mean, they know everybody, and it was fun. It was like old home week, and
Johnny
they just
Brown
met.
is a Topeka legend. So maybe he could put together the financing for a Circle Coffee outlet at 10th and Topeka.
Oh, no, the guy,
Or the guy has his own money?
yeah. That guy's done very well.
Okay. Well,
But
maybe
what I really like is it's got that one room. It looks like a banquet room.
it's a meeting room. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect for Circle Coffee.
Right. Yeah, they could have, that it could be a real community facility.
You know what we got to do though on this side? You got to put a list of things that I can't ask you because I'm intrusive, I guess.
Oh, well, that's okay.
Okay,
I'll-
you're used to it.
Um,
Okay, let's talk about. Are we done with Circle Coffee? Because I want to talk about the deal over to the left.
to the left, it is what?
So, do you know where the YMCA or Great Play was located up in North Topeka?
Oh, yeah, on North Tyler.
Yeah.
Used to be the Keeney Thomas branch. of
Now,
the
who is
YMCA.
Keeney?
It was Fred Keeney.
Wasn't the 37th and Fairlawn Keeney too?
No.
The downtown one was Keeney, wasn't it?
No, it was just the North Topeka branch.
Huh. Oh, well, I found the plans to that when I was rummaging around.
He was an old, that was old Topeka money right there.
I had an office down at the downtown branch,
Yeah.
and I want to thank Brian Falk for his efforts in putting together some space planning,
Mm-hmm.
and he helped us get that project off. You know, sometimes you have to spend a little money so people can see the dream because a lot of people just lack vision.
Mm-hmm.
And but Brian Falk helped us. I can't wait to see what he does with that building downtown that he just bought.
Which building?
The
was
one that you and me and Christina and somebody else walked through.
Oh, did he buy the
Yeah,
old
he-
Davies building? That was 727
Davies?
Kansas.
It's called
I
Davies.
think it was called the Davies building. Yeah.
Yeah, he bought it.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Okay. Good for him.
Yeah, I can't. He's a creative guy. Have you seen his offices over in Noto?
I have not.
Oh man,
Where are they?
he took like a hallway, or he took like a. I mean, it's not very wide. And he had to fix the roof. It's in between two buildings, and I think it was almost like an afterthought of a building. You know, there was like just
On
the
North Kansas.
yeah.
What buildings is it between? I need to
Well,
check that out.
some sort of secondhand store, or maybe it's secondhand stores
Okay.
on both sides.
Okay.
They didn't look like they were expanding, so I didn't really cold call them.
There was at one time there was a little beauty shop in Noto called Edna's, and it was like 12 and a half feet wide. I can't remember exactly which two buildings it was between.
I'm not so sure that he isn't in the Edna building.
It could be. Yeah.
You know, I kind of felt the spirit of Edna when I was there the other day.
Had that Edna vibe.
Yeah. Hey, this has got Edna written all over it.
Once again, this is the Topeka Factor on Facebook Live.
And X,
We're in the, what do we call this? The Glass
the
Houses
Glass
Studio.
Houses studio.
And
And Henry McClure throws a lot of rocks. Yeah, I want to see how.
what are you?
Oh man, I want to turn this around.
Okay.
My X isn't getting a very good.
We are simulcasting on a number of different outlets here, including my personal Facebook page.
You know, my Mevo has a service that I got to
Oh,
get
you're welcome,
going.
Patty. Always a pleasure to.
Patty's got to go.
I think she does.
All right, we love you, Patty. Happy Thanksgiving.
You betcha. Yeah, we could talk about a gratitude list if you wanted to.
Well,
Health,
I'm grateful that Bianca Bentley on McClure is coming down to have Thanksgiving with me.
there you go.
And the longer I know that person, she just amazes me all the time how she's matured. And I've met a lot of people in my life, and she's the most grounded person I've ever met.
There you go.
Yeah, I want to show you something. Here. Don't go away.
Working on our Thanksgiving gratitude list here on the pre-Thanksgiving edition of the Topeka Factor. We can always be grateful for what level of health we are presently enjoying. And Henry's been talking about family and his daughter, Bianca. I, of course, feel the same way about my daughter, Amelia, and her husband, Brian, who's a great guy, and our grandson, Terry, who is an extremely vibrant, intelligent, if somewhat hyperactive pre-adolescent. That's just a start, and I hope that anybody watching this today finds a multitude of things to be grateful for. Yeah, the funny
I'll tell you
thing.
what I'm grateful for.
The funny thing about gratitude. Oh my God, what's this? The funny thing about gratitude is that it tends to attract more things to be grateful for, including all these business cards. These are people that you know.
These are people that I've met.
Wow.
If I ever, and I,
You
and
saved them all.
no, not them all. And there's more in there. And I don't save them all. But over the years, I said, wouldn't it be kind of fun to, I'd like to somehow, sit back and start calling all these people.
Here's one called Penguin's Place. I have a friend.
That was an ice cream store.
I have a friend out in California. Oh, holy cow! This is in
Yeah.
Sherman Oaks.
Yeah, that was an ice cream shop.
One of my college friends, Penguin Dave Feldman, lives out in Southern California somewhere. Yeah,
There's my Lakewood, California. That's
there's your,
my Lakewood card.
Rich business card.
But
That's
I'm
interesting.
grateful
That's
to have met these people in my lifetime.
Yeah, that's really a good point. A thing to be grateful for is the various contacts with the various people that you encounter in a lifetime of doing whatever.
If I ever stumble for a name, look what I got to remember.
The big, yeah. Well, of course, the business we're in, we tend to meet a lot of people.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, I don't think this is anywhere near the real thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I am grateful that I have been able. I'm grateful for May Siegel and Dana Anderson to have got me out of Topeka. I didn't hate Topeka when I left, but I got to meet the world and see the world. I got to renovate shopping malls. And what I liked about what Mace was doing in the day was we were renovators. We were recyclers. So we took the older malls and then put life into them. And Mace always said that real estate's local in nature,
Yeah.
and you got to be on site. And what an opportunity. And so and I'm grateful. And I got to work with a bunch of guys from Topeka, like Steve Yeager, Steve Roush. I think Steve was in the Mods. Do you remember the Mods?
Sure.
So Roush was a guitar player, I think, in the Mods, or a singer. And
The Mods.
Della Chadwell,
Mhm.
Jim Swenson, Rick Britt, Mark Klein,
Patty's
just to
grateful.
name a few.
Patty's grateful for longevity.
Hey, really?
She doesn't realize. She says she just realized that I'm only 10 years older than she is, which makes me feel young. Also want to say good morning to Mary Jane, and I'm sure she's grateful.
I got
Mary
speaking
Jane's
of
probably
longevity.
grateful to be the mother of Billy Pryor,
Oh,
as well as Brady.
Billy was one of my we were in the Sigma Chi fraternity at KU,
Yeah.
and then I got to meet him when he lived out in L.A.
Right.
I mean, I met Tony, and they were just pregnant. They just had gotten pregnant with their first child.
I was just watching Tony on TV the other night.
In which one? Private Benjamin?
She was in, no, she was Angie Bompancero.
Oh, yeah, in the Big Pussy's wife.
Yeah, I saw the episode where she was handing out sausage samples in a grocery
Oh,
store.
yeah. Kind of humbling.
And yeah, and
I think Big Pussy he went down to the deep, right?
yes, yes, he had already
Because the other fellows paint houses.
right.
But
So-
tell Patty, here's a book for her, The Longevity
Paradox.
Paradox by Dr. Gundry.
Dr. Stephen Gundry.
And I'm becoming a real disciple of Dr. Gundry.
What is the thesis of that book, by the way?
I don't know this one.
Can you sum that one up?
Not yet. I just
Okay.
got it. But
Okay.
I want to read his library, and I'm doing a thing called
I have a tendency.
Learn and Earn.
Learn and earn.
Yeah, and become a affiliate to the books that I've read. Then you get online and you do a review. And I'm just trying to read more than watch Casino 150 times.
You know, it's hard to. Yeah, I have this habit of buying books and then not reading them. I'm about 25 books behind, and I keep telling myself, don't get any more books till you read the ones you already have. But then guess what happens?
You
I
buy
run to
more
another book.
I know. It's like I've got that Paint Houses book. I want to read that.
Oh, that's
What was your favorite? I mean, besides the Bible, what was your favorite book that you've ever read?
That's a tough question.
That's a good question, but you probably don't answer that either.
Well, I don't know.
Hey, don't answer
That's
that.
like asking me what my favorite movie is. So
I mean, right now, I'd probably say Lincoln Lawyer.
yeah,
I just love that movie for some reason.
that's a good one.
You know why I like? You know what I like? I'll watch the whole movie just so I can hear California Soul at the end.
Right, right. Well,
I really loved living in California when I first got there. I was living in Long Beach. I lived on Ocean Boulevard. I lived right on the beach. And what was disappointing, though, it was behind the breakwater of Long Beach Harbor. But
Right.
like I look out one day and I go, hey, there's an aircraft carrier in my backyard. Oh, Tim Gibbons. Tim Gibbons lived just down the street from me, and he's a Topeka boy. And his brother, Terry, worked for Mace Rich, and now he does natural grocers real estate.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm coming back alive into the real estate business as I mistakenly, and I just wanted the voters to understand that how serious I was going to be
Well,
as a county commissioner.
You were saying, okay, if I become county commissioner,
I'll do the job.
in order to avoid conflicts of interest, I will stop doing real estate.
Yeah, I will. You're voting for me because I'll do the job.
Right.
Yeah.
And I will devote myself full time as
I was
opposed
in.
to having.
And I'm grateful. I'm thankful for the people that voted for me and supported me. Thank you.
Is this a good time to remind everybody of your November 13th prediction?
Yeah. That Kevin Cook will
This
get a
was-
big job within 6 months.
This prediction was first announced here on the Topeka Factory.
And
on
I think
November
somebody
13th.
from the chamber or the Greater Topeka Partnership.
A massively remunerative sinecure will be Kevin Cook's within 6 months of November 13th to 2024.
Man, look at you. You're
That's-
so eloquent.
That's the official.
A bit verbose.
That's the morning line here on the Topeka Factor. So what else do we have to be grateful for? Electricity?
Yeah.
You ever stop and think? People bitch about this is-
Tesla.
I'm going to take kind of an anti-populist stance here. People bitch about utility bills. But stop and think about it. In the 19th century, you had to spend half your day foraging for firewood, foraging for something to eat, foraging for
And we spend our time foraging for deals
yeah, right. But
that the Greater Topeka Partnership's keeping from us.
now to heat your house, all you got to do is flip a switch.
But
And
what's
sure,
crazy,
you got to come up with money to pay for it, but what's money?
what's crazy is like I get a bill or I get a notice, hey, you used a little more electricity
I get
than you.
those too, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it went from $12 of usage to 13. And then think about how all the fees related to
Right.
the bill.
What's interesting about those notices is here's the provider of electricity that makes money by selling you electricity, congratulating you for buying less of their product. What the hell's that? It'd be like getting something from a credit card company saying, well, congratulations, Marshall. You spent less money in August than you did in July, and we made less money off of you, and that makes us real happy.
And that's the foundation of Gundry, Dr. Gundry, who's a famous heart surgeon and done also, he's a very famous guy. He wants to put heart surgeons out of business because we're going to be healthy.
He's a heart surgeon who says, I don't want to do heart surgery.
Yeah, I don't have heart for it anymore.
If you just eat right, I don't have to fix you. I
Yeah.
want to say hi to Tom Rourke.
Oh, Tom, I like that guy. Hey,
Yeah.
Tom.
He's with us on Facebook Live.
You know, I used to have Billy's, that's his brother, right?
Correct.
I had his old office in the Liberty Building.
Really?
Yeah, I loved that office.
Yeah, that's a good building. And,
Yeah, Dennis Kenny has that.
Dennis seems to be doing a really good job of keeping it mostly rented. At
There's
a
an
time.
apartment in the building. Terry Isles is up top.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know if the broadcasters are still up there,
I don't know.
or maybe
I
Terry
should
took
know.
that.
I should know.
But I
don't know.
love that office place because of, in the very basement, there's a shower, and Dennis and I were running buddies. So, you know, actually, Dennis was in my first real estate class at Bill Lewis Real Estate in '79.
Really?
Yeah, he got his real estate license, but then he just did all the work on his own. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He did all his own deals.
He's been very active
Yeah, he's a good guy.
in.
His, I love his family. He had a daughter that got killed in a car wreck, which is sad.
Right.
And, but he's got beautiful kids, and his wife, who's a Brennan, she just passed away recently, and
I think he remarried.
yeah, he did. And she's a beautiful gal. We got to move on, right?
Well, you mentioned, yeah, that's, I think in addition to being grateful for the people we know right now, it's also a good thing to be grateful for all the people we have known, even those who are no longer with us physically.
Oh, yeah. And I'll tell you who, my mom actually is the coolest of all the people. And her dad was cool.
Well, not to argue with you, but people tell me that my mom was the coolest.
Well, she was a lot better than you.
So how?
I knew her.
And people also tell me that.
Yeah, I knew your mom.
Marshall, your mom was so nice. What happened to you?
She was a deacon. No, it's not
She
that.
was.
But she was a deacon in the Episcopal Church.
She was.
Yeah.
She went to seminary in New York City to do that. Very devoted to that particular pursuit.
You know, at 9/11, that there's an Episcopal Church that didn't get ruined. That was like a place where they were bringing bodies into and trying to.
Mhm.
It was an aid station. That's an Episcopal Church. I've
Mhm.
been in that.
Okay, well, have we just about covered our subjects for today?
No.
What, you've got Emporia up on the big board.
Well, I don't want to talk about Emporia yet,
Okay.
but I do want to talk about Adams
Oh,
and 21.
21st and Adams.
Yeah.
Okay, what's going on at 21st and Adams?
Well, I had a guy wanting to buy half of the land.
Once again, this is the Topeka Factor on my Facebook Live. I'm with Henry McClure in the Glass House Studio. You had a guy that wanted to buy half of the corner.
He wanted to buy half of it and the hard corner. And that was going to leave.
Okay, back up for a minute. What is the definition of a hard corner?
It's on both sides of the corner. You know, it faces Adams and 21.
So would 10th and Topeka be a hard corner?
That's a hard corner.
Can I say that?
That's as hard as they come.
Okay.
And that's one of the best hard corners for lease in Topeka, Kansas.
Okay.
Bar none.
This corner will stay hard and you don't even need Viagra.
It's not good for you anyway.
Okay.
Look, if you just do this stuff, if you just follow Dr. Gundry,
You can
your
throw away
system
the
will work.
Viagra.
I'm telling
Yeah.
you.
Okay.
I'm
so
telling you.
Back to 21st and Adams.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, he's telling you. What about 21st and Adams? You had a guy that wanted half of it, and it's a
Yeah.
hard corner.
Yeah, and it's a good guy, and he had a good use.
Yeah.
We needed to go. It's zoned M2 and M1.
Okay. That's
And-
multifamily.
Yeah, and the owner lives in Seal Beach, California,
Okay.
and he's out of touch with Topeka. I told him the minute I took on the listing, I said, we need to give notice to the nice man that lives in the building.
Oh yeah, this is that. This is that situation with code compliance confiscating somebody's personal property
Poor guy.
that almost got you in trouble.
Well, who
Not-
makes the front page over an eviction?
Yeah,
But Henry McClure in Topeka, Kansas.
it's your life, dude.
But everybody said that the city council person of that district looked worse than me.
Yeah,
Well, that's easy.
that's a real compliment. There.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
And when I read the way the Capital Journal wrote that, I thought, well, maybe they will let me get elected.
Not so bad. Yeah, not so bad.
That wasn't bad. That was
Yeah.
advertising.
It's yeah.
But so I wanted to push that. You might as well push the inevitable, right?
Okay.
So give him notice.
Embrace the inevitable.
Oh, embrace the
Embrace the inevitable.
this is one thing that I'm grateful for you.
Such as the aging process. Embrace
No,
it.
I am
Don't
grateful
resist
for
it.
you coming into the Glass Houses studio.
Well, I'm grateful. I'm just happy to be here.
Thank you. But so let's embrace the inevitable that the show must go on.
The show has to go on.
Because when it does go on, I want to take you to Emporia.
If we don't do it, who will? Oh, so that's where Emporia came in.
But later.
Okay.
Okay, so
You
here,
got 21st and Adams.
let's see, what did I do in my pens? Okay.
You got half of that. Is that Great Play?
Yeah, that's over there.
Okay.
Oh, you want me right over there?
Where it says land. Okay.
Oh, well, over here, we've got,
We're going to the whiteboard now.
this is 2 baseball fields
Oh,
in
okay.
the back. And I will put up a sign here. I talked to him and a sign over here. Now, all this land over here is owned by Habitat of Humanity,
Right.
and the streets are in.
We're talking real estate on the Topeka Factor
Yeah,
here
that
on
would be a
Facebook
good
Live.
place for a guy that wants to build some homes or donate to Habitat, talk to them. But what a better place. A friend of mine was saying he wanted to develop for special needs people.
Okay.
Well, what a better place to put the housing right there, because then the special needs people can take advantage of great play,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
Okay, so over here, let's see here.
Once again, this is Facebook Live. I'm with Henry McClure. We're talking about Topeka real estate and other things pertaining to the capital city. Also working on that pre-Thanksgiving gratitude list, including access to health care, a car that runs.
Okay, so you know where that trailer park is here?
Oh, yeah, the beautiful trailer park on Adams.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, so my guy in Seal Beach,
He owns that.
he used to.
Okay.
And when he sold out of that, the guy didn't really offer him enough money
Yeah.
to own this. So he kept this as an investment.
Right.
And
So he keeps the hard corner. This would be an opportunity for me to jump in and say, I do have a lovely mobile home for sale for $13,000 in the lovely Coachlight Village North project.
okay,
Okay.
but what's the
100.
lot rent?
$475.
And what does that come with?
Well, they do the maintenance on the park itself.
Do you get water?
I don't know.
Snow removal?
I don't think you get snow removal. Yeah.
But what about water and trash?
I'm not sure about that.
We got to get on this.
That's
I mean, you should know this. You're
You're
going to have
right.
to disclose this.
well, I'm assuming it doesn't include water and trash, but I could be wrong.
Well, let's look at it, because if it does, it adds more, makes the 13 easier to pay.
That's right.
All right.
So we're at 175,000
Need 175 for this hard corner.
for the hard corner at 21st and
Yeah.
Adams.
It's going to be a little over 4 acres. I'll get a new post put up on it. But
How many acres? 4?
Yeah. So, do any of you guys remember a fella named Bill Cochran?
Is that the police chief?
Yeah.
Okay, I remember him.
Well, he was interim city manager for a while.
Yeah.
And I liked him because he was a street guy.
Right.
Plus, he's a veteran.
Right.
I'm thankful for Bill Cochran. There's
Well,
one. He's a nice guy.
Right.
And he and I were talking one day, and I was talking to him about Casey's coming to town.
Is that what's going in at 17th and Washburn?
Yes.
Okay.
And I didn't get to make that deal because Casey's won't sign an exclusive.
What do you mean?
Well, you can't get like an exclusive representation. They want to be able to talk to everybody.
Oh, so they won't sign up for you to be their agent.
No.
I get it. Okay.
But if you get a deal into them, you can get paid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how about a Casey's for 21st and Adams?
That's how this whole thing got started.
Oh, you're kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you.
I actually nailed it without even knowing. Yeah.
And so Cochran and I are talking,
Yeah.
and that's back when, remember Bill Fiander?
I do.
Yeah. He's over at Washburn poisoning kids' minds.
Mhm.
I'm actually going to see if I can audit his class.
You should.
Yeah, I'm 65. Don't you get it?
I actually have a friend who audited one of Bill's classes, and she says it was really a great class. So, yeah.
No, he ain't all bad. You know,
Well, he's mostly good.
sometimes planners and developers are on opposite sides of the world.
They can appear to be, yes.
Well, I mean, think about some of these bike lanes. Well, do you use all the bike lanes that we've got?
Actually, that's a whole different subject. I personally would not ride my bicycle or motorcycle, for that matter. I don't have one, but if I had a motorcycle,
In Topeka?
I would not operate either one of those on city streets. And that's no reflection on Topeka. It's just that you have so many impaired drivers and so many distracted drivers. It's like, you got a one and what? How often do you read about a motorcycle guy getting greased
Oh, man.
because of inattentive drivers?
Look at that slang you're working in.
So,
And you usually have all these flowery words. Can you think of a better name, let's hear a better word for being T-boned on a
Greased.
Greased. You know, Tyler Weibel was greased. He had a near-death experience.
Well, but yeah, okay, back to bike lanes.
Okay.
This is said to be, they have a lot of those in the lovely community of Bentonville, which I visited last weekend. And this is said to be the hallmark of a, shall we say, progressive community. But in all reality, do you want to use those bike lanes? I guess people do. I don't know.
Well, that's what I loved about the Liberty Building. I used to keep my bicycle down there
Yeah.
and ride the bike. And then I'd go over to the Y and swim.
I'd be more interested, as opposed to bike lanes, I'd be more interested in the city and county developing a way of catching bicycle thieves or preventing bicycles from being stolen in the first place by
That's not funny.
taking criminals, and as opposed to this indefinitely prolonged process of presumptive probation after presumptive probation. One strike and you're out
On bikes.
on anything. One strike and you're gone. That's what we should go to in this society. But that's a different subject.
Well, actually, it's not bad.
That's a different subject than 21st and Adams.
It's kind of like the tariffs. Well, but we might see some stuff happen between now and the inauguration about, hey, look, we don't want any more fentanyl coming in. I lost a cousin or a second cousin to fentanyl death.
Well, and I lost a bicycle to fentanyl users.
Yes, and some of these.
You're right about the fentanyl thing. Plus, now the dealers are mixing it with some weird kind of animal tranquilizer, which makes people's legs and arms turn black. Have you read about that?
No.
This is a true fact. But anyway, back to 20. If we have these areas of Topeka that are stigmatized as being high crime areas, one thing you could do is stop the crime. How do you stop the crime? One strike and you're out.
Well, and also, too, what you need to do is you gotta. I was looking at the website for the sheriff, but they have that Fuchsia's system where you can get cameras, and the private sector ought to be buying these cameras right and left. So the hardware to run. See that little computer over there?
Yes.
Okay, so that computer is about the size of the hardware for 4 cameras.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So you buy that, it's like $350. And then you hook you got to pay for the cameras, and then it's $75 a year. But then the sheriffs can mount those cameras and see what the heck's going on.
Okay.
Yeah, so we can have a safer, because look, if we have lower taxes and safer place, we're right in the middle of, we're in Middle Earth. People will want to come to Kansas just because it's centralized.
And I really believe, now this is just me, but I really believe that Topeka could really put itself on the map.
Well, it's not Choose Topeka, and it's not doing the economic development the way we're doing it now. And we just need to take all the economic development money and put it into infrastructure.
You know how every now and then the national media will have an article about some little town or some state somewhere that passes something that's kind of crazy and bizarre. But I really think Topeka could put itself on the map and draw people in a significant way if we got all of our law enforcement together with the city and county and said, and the court system, that's the important part, and said, from now on, Topeka is a one strike and you're out place. And people around the country would be looking at that going, golly, here's a community that's actually doing something about petty crime.
And I told you, you remember the story about the one of the videos I was filming, the white buses that might have illegal aliens on it?
Okay.
And the police chief grabbed me.
Here?
Yeah. And this is just within this year.
Right.
The police chief asked me to step outside, and he asked me not to mention that on the video.
Well, and if we're going to deport a bunch of illegal aliens, which I'm not opposed to necessarily, but
well, they're already here.
If we're going to get into that, I'd just soon see these lowlifes who are out there stealing bicycles and breaking into cars, deport those sons of bitches. Put them in a helicopter and drop them into the ocean.
Oh man.
Or how about
the illegal aliens are thankful that he's not the ruler of the world here.
How about if we deport the neo-Nazis? Those guys who
they're already in Ukraine.
Huh? How about if we? Yeah, well, let's take those guys who were demonstrating in Columbus, put them in a helicopter, and drop them off in Ukraine.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's go to the hard corner.
By the way, we've been on now for a little over an hour, so it's probably about time to wrap up.
Why, are you tired?
Well, I got to show houses.
Okay. But you're going to paint houses today?
No, I'm just showing houses.
Okay. So
I haven't graduated into the house painting category.
Well, hell, if it doubles the value of real estate, I might get back into painting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
okay, back at 21st and Adams.
You've got M2 and M1 zoning, and you've got the planning department ready to do C2 zoning.
Okay, you do?
Because of the Casey's.
Okay.
So Cochran and I did was we went to Bill and the planning staff and said, hey, you pick the locations you want Casey's to go to.
Mm-hmm.
So we're getting out ahead, get staff. It's their idea. And this was one of the locations that Dan Warner said would be good for Casey's.
21st and Adams.
Yeah.
Okay. So what happened to Casey's?
They went across from the Cromier liquor store. They
ended up over there
on California, across from Walmart, which is a better location.
Yeah, let's see. A question
across from Walmart or Adams and 21.
That Casey's over there sort of popped up overnight.
Well, yeah.
Did they do a traffic study for the California
Oh, no,
Avenue
let's not
facing-
let's don't go there. I don't want to bring up traffic study. I don't want to bring up the fact that Benish is milking the taxpayers $1 million a year, and I think Braxton actually asked for more money. But
for Benish.
yeah, and there's something stinks about that. You know, we ought to have an in-house guy. You know, we've got a competent company like Cook, Flat, and Strobel, CFS, putting together all the studies and the plans. The city uses them, the county uses them. They're above board, you know.
So
Even though Kevin Holland now is for the iconic footbridge, but that's another story.
oh yeah, we've almost forgotten about the iconic footbridge.
I'm never going to forget it.
Think how many thousands of people that will cause to move to Topeka.
Yes,
We want to behold the iconic footbridge.
we are humbled that the fact that Topeka brought the iconic
Forget about
footbridge.
the Emerald City. We're going to visit the wizard.
This
of
is
the,
like-
of the iconic footbridge.
Did you ever get into Monty Python?
A little bit.
Yeah, you know, it's like the members of the Go Topeka in the chamber look like those priests, you know. Oh, hey, oh, iconic footbridge.
That could be a show. Well, anyway. So
Anyway,
is your guy going to buy half that?
no, man, my guy, the offer didn't go through, and so I got to sell that thing. I want to get that off my. I'm not, you know, I got to get it off my plate.
This
Just
would
one
be
thing I want to do to move on.
Would this be a good time for people who've made some money selling certain properties to maybe reinvest?
Yes, and by the way, did you
To
know?
defer the tax consequences?
Do you know that they have a 1031 for stock?
I did not know that.
Yes, we got to get Tyler Weibel in. He knows all about it. But you can use your stock gain to buy real estate, and it's exactly like a 1031.
That's probably part of the reason why Kamala didn't make it. I don't want to get into rehashing the whole campaign, but she had this weird idea about taxing people for theoretical gains.
That's exactly what our tax structure is for the houses. It's theoretical value.
That's a good point.
Yeah, thank
That's
you.
the point we've been making.
I've been trying
Here on
to,
the
but
Topeka
now you see it.
You're taxing.
It's
Uh-oh, there's my phone. I gotta go.
okay.
Okay.
We'll talk about Emporia next show.
Next show, which will be a week from today,
All right.
we'll be talking about.
I can't. When am I going to get you on a daily basis?
We got to talk about that.
All right.
Have your people call my people.
Henry McClure live.
Until next Wednesday, don't
Hey,
forget to
happy
pray,
Thanksgiving.
shake a hand every day.
If nobody's told you they love you, you know I love you.
And so do I. I love you more, actually.
You might.